And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of the night, to the final qualifying match of the LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals EU and Americas qualifier. Here we go. We have one final best of three, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the American Hope, the Blue Protoss. It is Astrea. Here we go, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat as we do settle in. I see someone asking in the chat, is this live? Yes, this is live. Shout out to our bot stream elements for automatically responding. But if the event is not live, then it is typically stated in the title. We don't have any rebroadcasts here on the channel. No rebroadcasts, but we sometimes have some replay casts. If so, then we do typically state that coming into this. But no, the event is live. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. I do recommend checking out the VODs though, because we had some insane series here in the lead up to this final qualifier. I do recommend especially Spirit versus Cristiano. That was the highlight of the qualifier so far. It was a crazy best of three. But now we're settling into our final PvP. Let's go. Let us go. So far, we do have a 2-gate opener here out of MaNa. Likewise, Astrea going for a 2-gate opener as well. Astrea doing Astrea things. He very often does hide or does throw down his gateways further back in the main. It is a very Astrea thing. I don't think any other player really does this consistently. I think I've seen Showtime do this like once before. It's, yeah, a little bit odd here. I would love to know the rationale behind this. It does mean that your wall off here at the natural is a little bit delayed. He does still eventually wall this off. Double defend against Adepts, but for now the 2 gateways are set up further back, and it can make things a little bit more awkward for the aggressing player or for the opposing player to scout, but for the most part we are settling in. It's going to be Stalker Sentry opener out of MaNa, double Stalker out of Astrea, something a little bit more assertive from our Blue Protoss. With this, he's going to be moving out. Does move out. Across the map will pylon block at the natural. MaNa going to be opening up with a robo. Oh my god. MaNa, he missed the pylon. Missed the pylon. MaNa, he's getting ready to defend against a proxy that doesn't exist. As MaNa did miss that second pylon, he believes it is across the map somewhere else. It's still going to be expanding, but this is a very safe, very defensive opener out of MaNa. Last MaNa did not scout the expansion either. Hallucination moves out, will not be denied, and eventually MaNa will realize what's been happening. What has been going on. From here, Astrea backs up. Going to be a Twilight Council opener out of our Blue Protoss player, with a faster expansion as well. So working towards Blink. Hallucination does get eyes on the pylon, now MaNa knows, and he also gets eyes on the expansion as well. So coming into this, Astrea is going to have an economic lead, but MaNa, the pressure is on to get some damage done across the map, and here comes the Robo, the War Prism. War Prism's on the way. Now with this War Prism, you can reinforce across the map with Adepts and try to shade into the mineral line and get some economic damage done. Meanwhile, the mortal production has begun for MaNa. He is moving out. The move out is spotted. Astrea, he is aware. He sees the warp in. As MaNa moves out, Astrea moves in. Uh-oh. And does MaNa turn around? As Astrea, he has control of the natural, pushing up into the main. There's nothing here to defend. That's not his pylon. The pylon is going to be targeted down. That will deny the immortal. And MaNa, he's committed. Force field doesn't do much. Pylon goes down. There's the recall. Astrea, he gets home just in time. Going for the Prism. Prism goes out. Massive pickup. And Astrea, he's all over this. He shuts down the aggression. Just out the Prism. The army, the sentry. GG gets called. And Astrea takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Everything just escalating so quick as things snowballed out of control. Again, MaNa, he was committed with his move outs. He chose to commit, of course, chose not to turn back around. He lost his pylon, he lost his robo, lost everything. And with that, GG, we're getting into game number 2. And the pressure's on MaNa to bounce back. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a game 3, but the pressure is on MaNa. And we'll see if we can force that ace match. As we are switching over to the European region. So again, the way this works is that game 1 is on the Americas, game 2 is on Europa. So we are switching back and forth. And we have our map of choice. Game 2 is going to be on ley lines. Here we go. Now players are asking for a moment. Understandable. Understandable. I mean, again, this is the final qualifying match of the event. So they need some time. We go. Also, we were about to load into ley lines, and then MaNa's like, "Wait, did we just play on this map?" Like, yeah. So we're switching over. My apologies. Getting ready for Whispers of Gold for game 2. Getting into Whispers. Making sure we have everyone invited. Making sure we're good to go. Leading into our next game. And again, I'm hoping that we can get a game 3 out of this, especially after game 1. Game 1 was a very abrupt end. We weren't able to really sink our teeth into that PvP. I'm hoping for more of a back and forth here. Hoping for more of a back and forth this time. But the pressure is on, as spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have our red Protoss player representing Team Liquid down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and force that ace match. It is MaNa. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the blue Protoss, leading the series 1-0. Unamas, one more game is all he needs to qualify for the main event. It is Astrea. We go. And this time Astrea going to be walling up here at the ramp, setting up his gateways. Likewise, so is MaNa. And again, last game was just a really awkward game for MaNa. If you remember, or just as a reminder, he did miss the second pylon, so he was setting up for a more defensive build, going for the earlier robo. Once he realized that he had been bamboozled, that he had been duped, then he did commit into an all-in and was torn apart. Astrea did just pick him apart there. But now we're getting into game 2. 2-gate opener. 2 gateways for Astrea, likewise 2 gates for MaNa as well. So far we are mirroring each other. MaNa moving out with this probe, looking to hide his second pylon. And I would imagine this is going to be a fake proxy pylon, not a real one. As he's hiding his probe here on the right hand side, Astrea doing the same. So, grey minds, they think alike. There we go, we have the fake proxy pylon for MaNa. Astrea going for a very real proxy pylon. Okay. So MaNa, his pylon is designed to try to force an overreaction once Astrea scouts. Meanwhile, Astrea, he just commits. And this is a prime location for a proxy robo. And there it is. Oh, not a robo, sorry, a gateway. So it is going to be a 3-gate setup. It is going to be the setup for an all-in here from Astrea. I believe this should lead into a 4-gate with a 4th gateway to move out. Astrea goes in for a scout. We'll get eyes on the lack of pylon. And MaNa's looking to expand. Oh. Yeah, the pylon is missing. Astrea confirms. MaNa likewise scouting as well. I'm sure we'll soon recognize that the pylon is nowhere to be found as well. So gateways are finishing up. Oh, MaNa, the scout is denied. Probe goes down. MaNa's in the dark. You can see he's looking for any proxy location, just checking here outside of the natural. It does expand, and Astrea does not. He's going to be reinforcing, making 3 stalkers at a time. Warp gate is being chronoed. No 4th gate, so just 3 gates. And Astrea, he will have the stalker lead. Now, a big factor here in the early game as the hallucination moves out across the map is going to be force fields. True. As this early on, there is no blink. The hallucination will eventually confirm the all-in. As MaNa will see that there is no expansion. Yeah, no nexus. No nexus whatsoever. Astrea is moving forward. Going for the sentries. Going for the stalker even. Force fields, he gets knocked down. Yeah, 1 stalker falls. The trades with the sentry, but that's going to be a 2nd stalker going down. And despite Astrea having the larger army, he's being picked apart. Oh, that's another stalker falling. And Astrea just doesn't have enough. Gonna be forced back. MaNa defends. MaNa expands. MaNa is ahead. The shield battery isn't done. Astrea pushing in once again. He does reinforce Astrea. He can still overwhelm. Gets a sentry. Gets one of the sentries. Will focus on the shield battery. Pulls away the weakened stalkers. But the shield battery does complete. Again, MaNa just trying to buy time. 4 stalkers versus 4 stalkers. Still trading 1-to-1, but reinforces they have arrived in Astrea. He might just have too much. He's overwhelming. He's barely overwhelming the army. It's still so close, though. Boys are being pulled. To get another stalker. Does Astrea have enough? It's still very close. Oh, please down to the stalker towards the end. Astrea barely saving 2 of those stalkers. Nice moves. It barely does save them. Shield battery does complete. Immortal has arrived. And with the help of the Immortal, I don't see Astrea breaking this. Yeah, now he expands. He's forced to expand. Very late expansion for Astrea. He is behind. And he did not get enough damage. He came close. But the initial force fields, we spoke about it at the time. How intense these force fields can be. GG gets called. Astrea gets locked down. And MaNa, he survives. He takes game number 2 and ties up the series. GG. GG, well played. But the deciding factor in this game was the initial force fields. Just locking down the army and sniping 3 stalkers at the start of the game was brutal, and Astrea never quite recovered. His goal was to overwhelm, was to just build up his stalker army and just snowball out of control from there. Alas, he was unable to, and with that, GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. It's a short series. It's turning into a very short series, Pap. Yeah. I mean, we're getting a game 3, that is true, but short games, I should emphasize. The question becomes, whose turn is it going to be this time to all-in? Game 1, MaNa was kind of forced into an all-in, and he was picked apart. Game 2, Astrea went for the all-in. He got picked apart as well. It's not working out for the aggressing player here. We'll see how this story ends. Hey lad, is Astrea teamless at the moment? Yes, he is teamless. That is why when I introduced him, I'm not mentioning a team. There's also no team under his name right now. You can see MaNa on the screen that we're currently on. You can see Team Liquid under his name, and it's blank for Astrea. So yes, currently teamless. He was on Virtus Pro for a while, but has since been let go. Deserving to be on the team, of course. Deserving to be. But currently a free agent. And here we go. We're getting into the ace match, the final game of the series. It's going to be on Ultra Love. But yeah, currently we're in kind of an unstable era of StarCraft just because of the lack of announcement for EWC. Because of that, I'm sure a lot of teams are not as willing to invest into these players. But again, I'm sure we have announcements to come, and despite that, January is still a very busy month, as there are a lot of events going on, whether it's the LiuLi Cup, or whether it's the Master Coliseum, or even our regular online weekly tournaments as well. And here we go, we're getting into the ace match of the final qualifying match, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, being forced into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Astrea. And as we settle in, welcome one and all to Ultra Love. The biggest feature of this map in this matchup is the ramp. There's a ramp coming into the match. What does that mean? That means a gate expand is much more viable here. We should be seeing more economic openers. Gate into Cyber Core, into either a faster expansion or a Stargate. We'll keep an eye on the gases. We'll see if extra gases are going to be taken, and if we go for a tech before expanding. So much more different dynamic here on Ultra Love. There it is. Second gas is on the way. So MaNa, he is set up to throw down a Stargate before the Nexus. Astrea staying on one gas. Geyser tells us he wants to be greedy. He's going for the Nexus. Just has to wait a little bit longer. There it is. The Nexus has been placed. And Astrea, he might even trigger an all-in out of MaNa. So Astrea, he cuts corners. Stays on one gas. Gets a faster Nexus as a result. That is a Nexus before the Cyber Core. So very greedy here by Astrea. This is one of the greediest builds you can go for. Just gate expand, like technically like a Nexus first. I mean, you never see that, to be fair. So this is the greatest build you can go for from the side of Astrea, and MaNa is going for the one base all in. MaNa, he sees the greed and he responds with an all in. So here we go. Once again, it's going to be a short game here, one way or another. Either MaNa kills Astrea or he dies trying. And again, because of how many corners Astrea has cut, this means that the defensive Robo or Stargate are going to be delayed for Astrea. He is in the main. He does see the lack of pylon. He does confirm the lack of expansion. He should recognize that an all-in is coming. But knowing is, what, half the battle? Maybe a third of the battle at this point? There we go. He scouts, he confirms. There we go. He does get eyes on the Robo, gets eyes on the gateway as well. Astrea, he's aware of how much danger he's in, and can he hold, can he survive? Throws down his own Robo. His own Robo here at the natural. Astrea is setting up. At least trying to. MaNa moves out. Adepts get spotted. MaNa could go for a Prism first. Speaking of, you have to go War Prism first to drop into the main. To keep the pressure up. Astrea, he fully walls off. Shield batteries on the way. This is Nartosis pylon, bear that in mind. Might factor into the defense later, as we should be going Prism into Immortal. Okay, Immortal's on the way. MaNa making his way towards the main. Immortal production has begun for Astrea, and he's getting a spotter pylon. War Prism has been spotted. Adepts are making their way into the mineral line. Two Adepts taking one-shot probes. They can and they will. Probes are going down. He gets two. He gets two workers. Shades away. Saves the Adepts. Immortals are soon to arrive. The first one is here. Still only the one pylon. And MaNa does have force fields. So does Astrea. Speaking of, he looks at the Immortal. Oh, massive pick off. The Immortal is going to be targeted down. Shield battery within range. And the Immortal, can it be saved? It's not. It's not going to be saved. The Immortal goes down. Massive pick off. MaNa, he saves his own. And Astrea's in a rough position. Again, trying to hold on. He got locked down. Gateway's under fire. Backup shield battery on the way. Once again, Astrea has to be careful. Has to respect the force fields. Adepts a shade into the mineral line. Once again, force field locks down a sentry. And now we have two Immortals. Second Immortal has arrived. Adepts a shade into the mineral line. Probes are going down. And Astrea is being pulled apart. Once again, he gets the top of the Immortal. Another Immortal goes down. Boys are being pulled. GG as MaNa. He snowballs out of control, and MaNa will take the series, qualifying for LiuLi Cup 2024, the Grand Finals. GG. GG, well played. Astrea going for the greediest build you can go for in PvP, going for a gate into expansion. MaNa, he was able to scout, able to confirm, he responded with the all-in and did pull Astrea apart. It was a brutal moment, I would say a pivotal moment when Astrea got force fielded. When the force field locked down the first immortal, when the first immortal fell, that was almost game then and there, as Astrea just was perpetually behind in the immortal count, could not keep up with the main army, and was pulled apart by the shades, pulled apart by the forces of MaNa. GG, well played. Congratulations, MaNa does qualify, and with that we have our qualified players. We have Skillous, Spirit, and MaNa making it through. GG, well played. As you can see here on the bracket, Skillous was able to take down Nickract, taking down MaNa as well to qualify. Spirit likewise took down Christiana, Anticore, and Astrea to qualify as well. So we have Skillous, we have Spirit, and we have MaNa, of course, as he was able to claim victory over Astrea. Very well done, congratulations. And they're going to be able to join up with the Koreans that qualified as well. If you're curious, who are the players, who are the Koreans that qualified for the main event, it was 2 Zergs and a Terran. It was Solar, Shin, and Gumiho that also qualified for the main event. Oh boy. So we do have a lot of representation here in the main event. Likewise, we have the invited players as well. And we're still missing a couple of key players is what I will say, but the invited players were Hero, MaxPax, and Jeshi, Clem, Oliveira, Dark, Cyril, Raynor, and Rogue. So the best of the best are going to be a part of this event. When I say that we're missing some players, I was pointing out earlier that for whatever reason we were lacking some German representation in this qualifier. I'm referring to some of the best players in Europe. I'm referring to Showtime, Big Gabe, and Lambo. Those 3 players that were missing in action here tonight. There is, of course, going to be another chance tomorrow in the global qualifier, but the global qualifier is going to be a brutal one. It's not going to be easy here whatsoever. Again, if you're a fan of Astrea does have another chance to qualify in that global qualifier, but the Koreans are going to be there as well. You know, players like Zaun, players like Creator, players like Trap, and many others are going to be taking part in that qualifier. Cure as well, Beyond. It's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. So best of luck. Best of luck to all those that do compete in tomorrow's qualifier. We are going to be there to cast. So in 24 hours, or I guess less than 24 hours at this point, we're going to be live in 21 hours time with the global qualifier of the LiuLi Cup, so do look forward to that. Likewise, if you are unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft before that global qualifier, we're going to be live in how many hours time? 10? 9. In 9 hours. Jesus. In 9 hours time, we're going to be live on the channel with a show match, series featuring HonMono and the Latin American community in StarCraft Evolution. Again, we've been casting quite a lot of StarCraft Evolution here on the channel, and I think it was last week, we casted MC versus the Latin American community. Here, this week, we have HonMono. For those that are curious, we host just a variety of fun show matches between some of the GMs in Latin America versus a key Korean player. The Latin American community, they've been featuring players like Dark, like Byun, now also MC and HonMono as well in StarCraft Evolution, and even hosting some fun like 2v1s and 3v1s as well, which has been a lot of fun to get into as well and to enjoy. So again, if you're interested, we're going to be covering that in 9 hours time. Again, plenty of StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings. Always something going on. If you enjoy the broadcast, if you want some more content, if you want some more action, then consider following us. Consider following us here on the social medias, !socials in the chat, and you'll get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. We do upload VODs on a daily basis on our YouTube channel, so do consider checking out our YouTube. Likewise, we're also live on all the platforms. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live here on Twitch. We're also live on TikTok and on Kick as well, so depending on what platform you prefer, We got you covered with that live broadcasting. And finally, if you want to help support us in other ways, in a more monetary way, you can do so via subscribing to the channel or via Patreon. We do provide replay packs to our subscribers. We provide replay packs to our patrons as well, so you can gain access to those replays if you wish. Otherwise, all the money that we make on the channel goes towards our tournaments that we host. It goes towards Sparkling Tuna Cup, Duckling Open, and Master Swan Open as well. Plenty of events that we do host here on the channel, and that is all funded by the people, for the people. So thank you so much to all of the patrons that we do currently have. We do appreciate it. You can actually see our goal on Patreon just under MaNa's name. Currently, we do earn 328 USD per month, and our next goal is at 400 USD. That next goal is to pay out top 4. Currently, our tournaments are very top heavy. Currently, our tournaments are top 2. They get paid out. But if we can grow our Patreon a little bit further, we can pay out top 4 instead. Just to spread the love and to support the players even further. So if you're interested, you can support us on Patreon. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. And again, we have 2 more broadcasts in the next 24 hours. 1 in 9 hours, 1 in 21 hours time as well. So plenty of content on the channel, as always. Again, January is going to be a very busy month for us. Very, very busy. We have 1, if not 2 casts a day every single day. If we wanted to, we could even have 3 casts a day, but I wanted to sleep at some point, so we did slow down a little bit here, and we're limiting ourselves at least a little bit, trying to calm things down before we, embrace 2025. But yeah, a lot of content. Masters Coliseum, LiuLi Cup, Lima League. We have the Big Store Mondays, Wardy TV Mondays, OSC Season Championship, and many other broadcasts throughout the month of January. So with that, what a way to start the year. Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's. Take care of yourselves. Look after yourselves, and hope you all have a great year. Great year. With that, we're going to be wrapping up. We're going to be heading on over, and we're going to be raiding another StarCraft channel. If you want to stick around, do give them some support. Who is streaming? Who is streaming at the moment? Who can we send everyone over to? Let's have a look. There's Sergeant Sadsack. There's Thriving GG. Big Gabe here, Marine. Happy, where was he in the tournament? But Gabe is also streaming. We have Mishu. Who else? We have Florencio as well. Crimson. Oh, that's a different Crimson. I was like, Ben? Happy. So stick around as we give another StarCraft streamer a raid. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. Otherwise, thank you so much. Until next time. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.